Hey everyone, my name is Jessie. Welcome back to my channel. Today I am filming an unhaul, and if you don't know, I have a local used bookstore where I go and trade in old books and can get store credit for new books. So here are all of the books that I plan on trading in and maybe getting some new books out of it. The first book I have is Sadie by Courtney Summers. This is a young adult thriller book, and I actually did end up really enjoying this one. It's just one that I don't think I'll ever reread. It's very, very heavy. It deals with a lot of very heavy topics. So it's not one that necessarily was fun to read, but I thought it was really well done. So I would recommend this one if you like YA thrillers. It's just not one that I see myself rereading. So for that reason, I feel comfortable unhauling it now. The next three books I have to talk about are The Tiger's Daughter, The Phoenix Empress, and The Warrior Moon. I don't remember what this series is actually called, but I read The Tiger's Daughter last year, and I really enjoyed this book. This is a beautiful adult fantasy book that is set in this really lush Asian-inspired fantasy world, and it follows the love story of these two women who kind of grew up together in warring empires, and it's just really good. But then when I read the second book, I actually couldn't finish it. I was pretty bored, which I was so surprised about because I loved the way the first one ended. So for that reason, I don't see myself actually going back and finishing out this series. I really liked the first one, but it's not like a new favorite or anything like that. It's not one that I see myself rereading. So I figured I would just bring in this full set and maybe someone else will find it and love it because it was beautifully written. The next book I have is Cinderella is Dead by Kaylin Barron. So this one I read last year, and this one was cute. It's a YA fantasy that follows this kind of, now I wouldn't say it's a retelling of Cinderella. It's set in the same world as the Cinderella fairy tale, but it kind of jumps ahead in time to like 50 years after the tale of Cinderella and what it would actually be like living in that kingdom where Cinderella existed. So it's about this girl who is kind of trying to fight back against this pretty misogynistic kingdom. I thought this was really cute. It's just on the younger end, I would say, of YA. So it's not one that was necessarily a favorite, not one, again, that I'm going to reread. You'll see the trend here that if I don't feel like I'll ever revisit a book, I don't feel the need to keep it on my shelf. I definitely want to kind of put this out in the world, see if someone else discovers it and loves it, because I definitely think that this is good for the younger end of the YA audience. It's just not going to be one that I personally reread. The next one I have is All the Light We Cannot See by Anthony Doerr. So this is one that I've gone back and forth so many times on whether or not I want to unhaul it, and I think I'm finally going to do it because when I read this book, I didn't necessarily really enjoy it. It's very poetic, lyrical writing, and the story itself I found very slow. I didn't necessarily find this all that engaging, but I think it's a really beautiful story, and it won the Pulitzer Prize, so obviously people love this book. It's just, yeah, not my personal preference. I tend to like more direct writing. I don't love lyrical writing. So this is a World War II historical fiction. I feel like if someone finds this and picks it up and loves it, then that's fantastic. I know that I'm never going to reread it, and it wasn't a favorite. So I feel like this is now the time to finally unhaul it. And just similar reasons for unhauling this one. It's The Light Between Oceans by M.L. Stedman. This was a good book that I overall would say I liked, but didn't love. It's the story of this couple who lives as lighthouse keepers, and they want a baby so bad, and they end up having a baby wash ashore kind of on their lighthouse and adopt that baby. It follows this family as they are starting to raise this child, and they realize that the child's real parents don't live too far away from them, so they're making a difficult decision. And it's a good one. It's just, again, not a favorite. It was pretty sad and depressing, so I don't know that I will want to revisit this one, but I'm glad I read it. It's just, it doesn't need to be on my shelf any longer. Long Bright River by Liz Moore, another one that overall I thought was good. It's just for some reason I didn't totally connect to this one. It follows this woman who's a police officer, and she is searching for her missing sister who has had problems with drug addiction, and you're kind of led on this mystery that she's trying to solve with what her sister's been getting into and where her sister's been, and it kind of has flashbacks to them growing up and their relationship. It was well done, well written, just not something that I loved. So again, I don't need to keep these that, you know, aren't favorites. I feel like I'm trying to be stricter with the books I do keep on my shelf because I want those books to be a total reflection of my reading taste. I want those books on my shelf to be the ones that I love and would want to revisit. So bye, Long Bright River. You were good, just not a favorite. Next two books I have are Crown of Feathers and Heart of Flames by Nikki Palpretto. So I read Heart of Flames last month, and you know, this is just a YA fantasy series that I feel is just a little too familiar for me. It doesn't stand out a whole lot in my mind. It's not bad by any means. It's actually quite good YA fantasy, and a lot of people love this series so far. I think the third book's coming out this year. I feel like I have two amazing condition hardcovers. If someone finds this in the bookstore and picks it up, they're gonna probably love it, I hope. So it's just not one that I'm gonna continue on with because I just didn't care a whole lot about the characters or the story, which is a shame. I know a lot of people love this, so maybe someone will find it and love it as well. Dance of Thieves and Vow of Thieves. So I kept these books around because I love their covers, and this is the kind of spin-off series to the, what's it called, by Mary E. Pearson, the I'll think of it. A lot of people love that original trilogy, and I read that and I enjoyed it. I actually unhauled it earlier. It's not a favorite, but it was good, it was cute, and so I wanted to continue on with the kind of spin-off duology, and oh, there it is, Kiss of Deception. It's the Kiss of Deception series, or Remnant Chronicles, that's what it is, Remnant Chronicles. Overall, I read Dance of Thieves a while ago, like a couple years ago at this point, and I don't remember anything. And then I tried reading Vow of Thieves without rereading Dance of Thieves, and I had no idea what was going on in Vow of Thieves. And then I was like, all right, well, let me keep them around, see if I'll go back and reread Dance of Thieves so I can continue. You know what? I'm not gonna do it. I'm not gonna do it. I think my reading tastes have kind of changed over these last couple years, and I just don't see myself going back and rereading Dance of Thieves so that I can finish this off. So this is another really nice hardcover set that someone will find and hopefully love, because again, this is not bad by any means. It's just, I think my reading preferences have now changed, and I'm not gonna reread these. I'm sorry. The next book I have is Burn by Patrick Ness, which my dog got to the dust jacket of this book. It had a really cool cover, and now it doesn't. One for me, I love the Chaos Walking trilogy by Patrick Ness. Love it, love it. And unfortunately, I just haven't liked anything else I've picked up by Patrick Ness. However, I did like A Monster Calls. I will say I like A Monster Calls. My dogs are just, I hope they're entertaining in the background. But this is like a YA fantasy contemporary book that has dragons, but in our world. And it just did not work for me at all. I either wanted it to be just full on fantasy or full-on contemporary. It was weird having the two mixed with dragons in our world. I just didn't like it. I wasn't connecting to the characters at all. It just did not work. So I'm very sad about that because I do really like Patrick Ness's Chaos Walking trilogy, but maybe someone else will pick this up and really enjoy it. And it doesn't help that my dog ruined the cover. So yeah, I'm gonna get rid of this one. And kind of on that same note, More Than This by Patrick Ness. So I did talk to Jade from Bedtime Bookworm about this one, and I do think I might give this another shot and read on a little further, because apparently when I DNF'd this last month, I had like just missed where this gets really, really interesting and really clever and turns into like a sci-fi dystopian novel. Because I had read up to like a page 150, and this was like reading like a YA contemporary to me. It was very, very like slow. The character, our main character, dies and is in this limbo state, and when he's in this limbo state, there's like no one around. He's like doing mundane things like searching for food, and he's like just contemplating things. I don't know, I was not connecting to it at all. I just was not interested in this main character at all, but I might have to continue on a little bit further past that, because apparently it gets really, really good after page 150. But I think if I were to continue on, I would just borrow this from the library and keep reading it, because I just really didn't enjoy this beginning part, and I don't see myself like loving the main character. So I am gonna continue my plans of unhauling this, but I might give this another shot and borrow it from the library and continue reading past the page that I DNF'd it at. So we will see. I also have the Jacoby series. So I actually really enjoyed this series. I thought it was really cute. Jacoby, Beastly Bones, I love these covers, Ghostly Echoes, and The Dire King. These are like YA paranormal fantasy, where it follows this Sherlock Holmesy type character in this world where all of these paranormal creatures exist. It kind of takes place in this like alternate 19th century England, in this city where all of these creatures exist, and Jacoby is tasked with finding them and kind of putting them in their right place, wherever that may be. So I actually really enjoyed this series, but it's just not one, again, that I'm going to reread or that is a new favorite. So this is a full set. Someone will probably find this and really enjoy it, hopefully, because yeah, this is one that very cute, glad I read it, just don't need to keep it on my shelves any longer. All right, and I'm ending with the most controversial unhaul. So I tried, you guys. I am unhauling the Witcher series. So starting with Blood of Elves, ending with The Lady of the Lake. Goodbye, Witcher. And here's the thing. I read the 2 Witcher short stories, and you can see that those are not included in this unhaul, because I really enjoyed the short story collections that followed The Witcher, and I definitely want to keep those around. I do see myself revisiting those short stories because I just had a lot of fun with them. So when I finished those and continued on with the series, I thought I would really enjoy it. The series, though, is not my favorite. It had hardly any Geralt, who was the best part of the series, in my opinion. I love Geralt as a character, but we just don't get enough of him at all in the series. I did not like the writing. I couldn't connect with the writing at all. I found it so dense and boring. I'm so sorry. Yeah, the writing and how Sapkowski chose to tell the story from like random point of views instead of our main characters. And I think some books are better than others in that regard. Like Baptism of Fire, I thought was really, really good. But when I continued on with the Tower of the Swallows, and we had mostly Ciri and like no Geralt, and then it was that same writing, I was like so done with it. I couldn't connect to it at all. I just didn't care anymore. So I'm sorry, Witcher, and I'm sorry, Witcher fans, that I'm unhauling this, but this is a full set that someone's gonna find and be super excited about, I hope. And I do plan on continuing to watch the TV series and maybe playing the video game. So I know that there's other Witcher stuff out there that I'll probably really enjoy. I decided that the books were just not gonna be for me. So goodbye, Witcher series. So that is this unhaul. Did you see any books that are hopefully not your favorites that you've read before and have any opinions on? Definitely let me know in the comments down below. Thank you all so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, make sure to give it a thumbs up, subscribe if you'd like to, and I will see you all in my next one. Bye!